to the bone, it's broken up, but how sad. How does it feel to breathe when you're dead? They never seen you out of your bed. Cut to the bone, it's broken up, but how does it feel to breathe when you're dead? They never seen you out of your bed. Cut to the bone, it's broken up, but how sad.
Oh darling, if I had bought you flowers, would you still be here by my side? Yeah, I thought this moment could be ours, while I'm walking only through the night. You can break my bones, break all the promises, but leave me alone. Don't break my heart. You should fucking stay with him. You should fucking stay with him. Darling, if I had bought you flowers, what if you stayed at home the night? Yeah, I've been lonely counting hours while I'm getting blinded by the light. You can break my bones, break all the promises, but leave me alone. Don't break my heart. You should fucking stay with him. You should fucking stay with him. Break my bones, break all the promises, but leave.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to TTML Division 2. We are here tonight for the final round of the Championship of Season 3. It's round 11 as we take in the Abu Dhabi circuit from the Yas Marina Bay. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream as always. And joining me in the comment box, it is Mr. Daniel Hoggard. Dan, how are you doing?
Thank you very much, James. As always, a pleasure to be alongside you and your perfect morphing of the track names of Abu Dhabi and Singapore.
Oh!
Moving on, though, of course, we have now got the scene set for what is going to be the final race of TTML Division 2 Season 3. It has been a fantastic season through and through, and so hopefully we get another cracker to send us off with. Both the Constructors and Drivers' Championships have been wrapped up in the last couple of rounds, but that does not mean there is nothing on the line for tonight, because what I can say is that the battle for second place in the Drivers and Constructors is immensely close, so it could come right down to the wire. It could still go either way in both of those battles.
It really could, and second in the championship in the drivers' standings, Matt Tibos, Jorg, Alonso, Noisy and LMN are separated by 18 points coming into tonight. There are plenty of championship permutations afoot, and we'll try and run as close to you as possible throughout the evening. But Scuba, of course, took the win last time out from Noisy in second and LMN finishing in third in Brazil. What did that do to the championship? Well, Scuba wrapped it up. Simple as that. 215 points he is now on. Matibos, after an absolute disaster last week, in second on 138. Jorgen third on 125. Alonso and Nossi tied for fourth on 123. Elemen in sixth on 120. Isotopic seventh on 101. B. Morgan in eighth, tied with Ryan on 98. And Sway in 10th on 90 points. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Chionis in 11th on 83 points. Callboy in 12th on 77. A big gap down to Volakongan in 13th and 41. Falcon 14th and 40. Wesker and Nathan tied for 15th and 36. AJ in 17th and 35. TDB in 18th on 33. Trippy Jeff in 19th on 30. And Hapuli Boy in 20th on 26 points. And Dan, of course, Scuba wrapped it up last time out. Matibos had an absolute disaster, but his battle for second is well and truly on, with 5 drivers in the fight.
He has a 13-point advantage over third place Jorg, and it's going to be fascinating to see every one of the drivers in that fight going to be taking it on. But, from third down to sixth is remarkably tight, only 5 points separating those drivers that you mentioned. Matt Thomas has that advantage, but if he has another horror show like last week, then it could certainly still be thrown wide open. Of course, Matt Tibos was contending with his teammate at one point. His challenge has fell away, but he'll be looking to wrap up that second place and see through what has been definitely a Red Bull-dominated affair. They haven't looked dominant really throughout the season, but have just picked up the points on a more consistent basis than all of their rivals, as we're just minutes away from getting this final race underway. And I can't wait to see what Abu Dhabi has in store for us here tonight, the 11th round of the season. Going to be upon us. And James, about this track, it's very technical, no doubt, around here. Very easy to get things wrong around here because the curbs are so deadly, so punishing. They're going to have to be on their A game for tonight, because Abu Dhabi may look like a bit of a flat, boring track. Actually driving it yourself with all the traction zones through, it's very difficult to master and very easy to make a big mistake and cost you a lot of time.
Yeah, this track, honestly, although it's 5.5 kilometres in length, one of the shorter tracks in the F1 calendar, it's very testing and demanding, especially through Sector 3, where there are so many turns that come at you. The triple right-hander through 15, 16 and 17 could be a point where you could see a dive bomb possibly down the inside. Also in the first sector through turn 3, I like to nickname that corner Car Killer, because if you have an oversteering setup, if you lose that rear end coming through turn 3, you're going to end up in the wall on the right-hand side, and there's no shadow of a doubt about that. And I've seen drivers in many different leagues over my years of commentary do that, and it is such a shame. But we are moments away, as Dan has said, from beginning out on track. And just to reiterate as well, in terms of our drivers' titles, M-Short took the title in Season 1, Mashiro Season 2, Scuba in Season 3. All of those guys, of course, made the step up to Division 1. Scuba obviously qualifying with his automatic promotion up into Division 1 for next season. And in terms of the Constructors, Scuba and Matt Tibos, the most winning pairing, 2 Constructors titles on the bounce. Mashiro and Zerma also getting 1 Constructors title to their name as well. Let's have a look then at this track in question. We are possibly running a couple of minutes late. We might be waiting for drivers to join the lobby. 5.5 kilometres in length. C3, C4 and C5 compounder tyres available for the guys. That's the softs, mediums and the hards. And we saw in Division 1 when I was commentating alongside Luke Etheridge that this track honestly can produce a real good humdinger of a finish. And that's exactly what we experienced. Even though there was a bit of contact, it was a real thrilling finish in Division 1.
Yes, certainly. And another very key thing about this circuit as well is the multitude of strategies that can be run around here. Tire degradation is pretty high, and so you're going to have to be all the way on it throughout. So yeah, that's going to be something fascinating to look out for, the way the strategies come together. Maybe look for some alternates outside of the top 10. So that's going to be a lot to look out for. Keep an eye out, because it's certainly a track where pole position is far from a guarantee to win the race in. So many strategies as they all converge, and it means that we may not have a clear picture as to who's going to be up front until the last few laps of the race, where everything will begin to settle down in terms of strategy, and we just have a run straight into the checkered flag.
Yeah, we will have a run certainly in towards the checkered flag. Hopefully, it doesn't become an absolute ball fest out on track. The organisers are not paying us enough, honestly. I've done 2 commentary stints now this week. Organisers really aren't paying me enough to come here to Abu Dhabi and commentate on these guys out on track. But the less we say about the money aspect, the better. But out on track, we are about to get going, it seems. We've got 16 drivers now within the lobby. Secret Dundee and Matt Tibos just late joining. Waiting a couple of minutes, I think, as well for drivers to join. There is a delay until 8:05 as a result for drivers to join. I think we're waiting on TRT Cam, if I'm not mistaken, to join the session. However, Sway has just readied up, so I'm guessing we are 30 seconds away pretty much from getting going in this session. And Dan, I'll come across to you for your thoughts going in towards qualifying. What is the expectation, actually, in terms of the tyres going in? Because we saw in Division 1 a lot of drivers going on a set of mediums.
Yeah, I think that what the drivers are going to have to do is adapt to what the people around them are going for. If you see a lot of people going for the harder compounds, and they'll try and go with it, or maybe even go against the grain, we'll see. But I think if everyone's going on softs, it's not worth starting that far down the grid. So we'll see how things unfold. It's going to be absolutely fascinating all the way throughout. Can't wait to see how it unfolds then. And we're just seconds away from getting into it. Qualifying first up. Let's get into the season finale, and let's make it a good one.
I hope it is going to be a good one out on track. 16 drivers about to do battle around the streets of the Yas Marina, and here we are going in towards qualifying. So without further ado, let us get started. Let us go for the final time into qualifying. Welcome along, everyone, to Season 3, Round 11 of the Championship here in Abu Dhabi for the Yas Marina Grand Prix here at Abu Dhabi. And Abu Dhabi, of course, being the host country. 3 compound of tyres, C3, C4 and C5 compound of tyres, the softs, mediums and hards. And traditionally, you normally go for 2-stop strategy around here. That is normally the quickest strategy, and it remains to be seen whether that is the case. Myself and Daniel Hoggard are taking you through the action, as always, here in Division 2. Let us have a look then at this track in question. 5.5 kilometres takes the drivers around 21 turns with the 2 DRS zones. 1 down towards turn number 8 and 1 down in towards turn number 11, where that middle sector could be very crucial in terms of the overtaking out on track. That final sector as well could be quite crucial in terms of losing the car, in terms of getting invalidations in qualifying, and we now getting towards qualifying. No doubt about what the weather conditions are going to be out on track. It's completely and utterly dry, and we're waiting for the drivers to leave the pit lane.
Yeah, so everything faintly poised. 16 drivers, as you mentioned, ready to do battle around this circuit, and we're going to get a good picture as to what people are thinking in terms of the strategies early on as to what tyres these guys are going to be fitting. And so now there is a bit of a rumbling from the pit lane, and we're going to see the first drivers out on track. I think Wesker may well be the first to exit that pit lane and get things underway. So the exit now then, punching away. Actually, correction, Cam is actually further out front. On the mediums, the yellow walls, interestingly enough, most others do have that soft, that Red Bull tire fitted right now, but Cam for the mediums then, going early, maybe getting a bank lap. We will see these guys, I believe, only get 1 set of the mediums early on, so we'll see what they can do with that. Then strategy going to be key then, but here we go, now out goes Cam onto the track then, for the final time this season, and of course we've still got a lot riding on it, particularly that battle for P2 in the standings, so there's a lot to look out for all the way throughout. It's going to be great to see now, but these guys hammering around this track, so difficult to nail the lap hit. I'd say this track not the hardest to learn, but very difficult to master one, especially here as you see Cam going into this turn 11, 12 and 13 complex. Such a difficult sequence, and this last sector is so punishing on the tyres, and if you lose grip just once, it can set your lap time plummeting. So Cam's out then. Gonna have to be honest, the radar driver will be first to tackle this circuit. Let's see if he can nail a flying lap. It's going to be very difficult though, less grip coming from those medium tyres. Can he keep it on track then and set a good lap time to kick us off here at quali?
He's done a good favour, actually, to get rid of the bollards coming through the middle sector into the final sector. We'll run on both them with Cam, as he now comes out through turn 20 and then in towards turn 21. And this is the first lap from a driver out on track here in Division 2 in Abu Dhabi tonight. Let's run down then in towards turn 1 with Cam. Bricks just before the 50-metre ball. Misses the apex of the turn in, but gets it nicely on the apex, coming through turn 2 and then through turn 3. Looks a bit unstable, if I've got to be honest, coming through turn 3. Looks nice and flat there, no, through turn 3, and now through turn 4 to 17 flat, actually, through the first sector from Cam. So now comes through turn 4, 5, and then in towards the hairpin at 6, where we saw Verstappen dive bomb for the race lead, of course, in Division 1. He ended up winning that by 10 seconds out on track, but in terms of Division 2, he's now running down the straight, is Cam. On the run down in towards turn number 8. Through the first sector, Ryan actually is the quickest first sector out on track, 16.868. Wesker with a 16.828 as well. And I believe both of them are on a set of soft compounder tyres. Yes, they are. Cam now through 8 and 9. Doesn't want to be hanging like a cow there, like Hulkenberg in 2018. So now, with a 16.9 and in the first sector, we'll see what this middle sector is from the Brit out on track to 39.7 through the middle sector from Cam. So now flies through turn 12, through 13, and then in toward the left-hand side at 14. And then, on the right-hand side, there is Yas Marina. Right on the right-hand side, through the triple right-hander at 15, 16, and then into the heartbreaking zone of turn 17. Get the car nicely turned in, then underneath the grandstand at 18, then through 19, another left-hander out on track. He's got a car just the right-hand side. I think he might have invalidated possibly out on track. So now comes through turn 20, and then through turn 21. We'll continue right on board with this lap. It would have been actually from Cam, relatively good lap, but 133.4 I make that out. But the first lap of the night, Cam, the 133.4, however, invalid.
Yes, so there's still more laps to be put on the board there. Wesker crosses then a 33.4 as well. Then he goes to the top then. That is
Ryan.
top by Ryan. Indeed, then by 300ths of a second. Very tight early on in the session. And so we're looking for a lot more from some of the drivers heading out there on the track. Isis topping to the line goes and just shy then on a 33.575 early on then. So very tight amongst the three times, the three valid times that we have seen so far. We'll see if anyone has got a little bit more in them though, and to this first phase of the session. And so we look to see who's going to be next up over the line. I think it is going to be a racing point then of possibly AGU. That's in the pit lane as TDV actually crossing. He puts himself onto a 34 flats. You can see the lap times coming in early. Ryan is still on top, and the lap times tentatively coming in. We've not seen many so far. As I saw noisy, I think it's just invalidated heading through turn 20. Now to the line the Alfa Romeo would have been fastest on the 33.3, but it wasn't to be that. We've seen great pace from Noisy throughout the season. That one didn't come through though. So Ryan maintains that professional pole, 33.4, but I think there's a lot more in it and a lot more times to come. Let's see what the rest of the drivers have got then. Ryan's professional pole, we'll see if anyone can try and top it.
Yeah, York's purple in the middle sector, actually 39.7, but now coming through the final corner is Matt Tibble, second in the championship, coming in towards tonight. Of course, he had a chance to try and seal the championship, and he goes quickest for the 133.3. That's the Matt Tibble we like to see, and he goes top ahead of Ryan and Wesker in that fight for second in the championship. Of course, he's got a 13-point advantage over the nearest rival. York is one of those rivals. He's now through the final corner and comes across the line and actually puts it to Matt Tibos and responds with a 133.2. So we're seeing as the lap times go along, as the qualifying session goes along as well, York out on top of the 133.238 and coming in to set exactly the same lap time as Matt Tibos. Sway just goes second ahead of Matt Tibos.
Yeah, must have got that one in some sort of countback. He does get out to the provisional front row for the time being out then. But I think that is pretty much it for the first runs in qualifying. A couple of drivers are on out laps, and Coreboy is actually on a flying lap then, heading through that last sector now then, running it down into the final complex, and at turn 19 then, with Commitment Adamant then, get as close as the wall as you do over the outside line. Then at turn 20, it's Maximum Commit through the apex needed. Now at turn 21 then, Traction is Adamant here, punching over the final corner to the right. It's a 33.8 for Coreboy, no higher than 7th for the moment, but Jorg then looks to have got that advantage from the opening runs. He is on top of the moment, a few drivers on the outlaps, and including Alonso, who is of course one of the contenders in that second place fight as well. So Jorg on top early, but I still think there's more time on the track then. Alonso coming through. We've seen him not able to maximise his qualifying session so far this season. The Haas, a lot riding on it then. Heading into this final corner, and a big qualifying session is needed. Let's see if he can put the lap together.
Yeah, let's see then on board with Alonso as he comes around the final corner to start off then his lap running down in towards turn 1, gets the apex very nicely through turn 1, on the exit, now through turn 2, and then up the hill in towards turn number 3. And we'll see what this first sector is like. He's on a set of soft compound tyres, and Alonso's qualifying has actually been better than his race, which is very rare for Alonso. Through the first sector it's 16.9, through the first sector from Alonso, so he's there or thereabouts. In fact, I'll correct myself, it's 16.8. Through the first sector, as now he comes really wide coming out of turn 7, trying to maximise that run. Now running down the straight, passing through the DRS angle there as he now comes through down in towards turn number 8. We see him now just behind the graphics there, running down in towards turn number 8, and this is a very hard braking zone. Now we'll get the car turned in through turn 8. And then through turn 9, nearly hanging like a cow, but good exit through there. Now comes down the old F2 pit straight, through turn 10, through opening up the second DRS zone out on track. I believe he's actually invalid as a result coming through turn 9 there, so Alonso is invalid on his lap time, and through the middle sector it didn't really count, so Alonso now off a lap. AJ is through the first sector, 16.7 though through the first sector, as he now makes his way down in towards turn 11 and the end of the middle sector.
Yeah, very impressive moving to the lap from AG and down into this critical final sector. Let's see here, he tackles it into turn 11, 12 and 13, and make sure to hold the car together using the curb through the exit as well, and AJU just about holds it. He is flying out there at the moment, so we'll see if he can continue to build on that. That he was purple in the middle sector on a 39.6, onto the brakes now, going in to turn 17 and 18, and let's see how he holds it together then. And at turn 19, hits the car on the inside and the outside, gets right up against the wall, millimetres from it, commits it at turn 20 then, running into the outside curve, and now at turn 21, attacking that apex limit he has. Is this going to be pole position? Yes, it is! Storming 33 flat. Stunning. Absolutely stunning for AGU. He goes to the top and sets the marker down. And so we have a lot more to come now from a lot of drivers then. But interestingly, our champion Scuba, go up over them, James. What do you notice? Is there something a bit off about the Red Bull man?
No, actually, I'm on board with Ryan. He's he's green through the first sector and quicker than AJ through the first sector. Has he set it up in the middle sector? He's flying. It's a 39.5 through the middle sector from Ryan. Let's run on board with him as he now comes through turn 12, 13, and then in towards the left-hander at 14. This Williams is flying out on track. It looks like, though, he is backed off and he's invalid coming out of turn 12 through 13, and Ryan invalid. It was setting up to be a really good lap, I've got to be honest, but sadly for him, no further part on this lap. Certainly halfway through qualifying, AJ on top, York in second, Sway in third. Anybody catching your eye out there? Dan Cam is invalid on the lap, and I believe Scuba's on a set of inters to try and get a lap in as well.
Yeah, let's see what Scuba's got up his sleeve then as he heads ahead to the middle part of the lap. Then he's not got the engine turned up. I think that's his downfall here rather than the tyres then, if he wants to press on to bigger and better things in this qualifying session. Scuba crosses, he's flying. It's a 46.2 going through the middle sector. Scuba, he's really on it then. It was at 19.5, which was only a couple of seconds off the pace in sector 1. So fair play to the Red Bull man. I'm not sure if we're missing anyone that's actually on a flying lap at the moment. Ooh. I'm not sure if you've maybe observed anyone that's actually worth not watching. Noisy it is then, so let's keep going. Second. Isotopic does go second and only a few hundredths shy of that top time then. So ice topping right in the mix, but it is AGA holding that top spot for the moment. 7 minutes left in qualifying as Scuba into the final corner. What a stalking lap it has been for the Red Bull driver now. Exits now, crosses. What's the time going to be? Oh, it's only a 150.2. Unfortunate, but great effort from Scuba. I think he's going to last the first challenge in the final race of the championship wrapped up. Fair play to Scuba. But I guess we will actually look in, try and pick out some decent enough action actually out on the track for the moment. So Noisy, as you mentioned, then into the middle sector. He's on good pace to receive the Alfa Romeo. Can see this one through and try and get himself up towards the top and back up his teammate up in the front of the field.
Matt Tebos is on a good lap as well. He's coming through the final 2 corners, through 20 and then through 21 in an all-black helmet out on track. Matt Tebos coming through the final corner, comes across the line, and he goes pole!
Wow.
And he's at the same lap time as AJ! Matt Tebos on pole. How on earth does this code actually work out? Who's going to be on pole position? Matt Tebos and AJ now on the same lap time. It was Swain, another driver, I think, further down, has actually Noisy puts himself up to 3rd, and this is going to be a really close qualified session now. Noisy puts himself into 3rd, and just in the whole grand scheme of things, AJ is out of this battle for 2nd. He is out of this battle for 2nd. He's down, all the way down in 17th position in the championship. Matt Tebos is 2nd. Noisy is tied for 4th. Noisy has got a bridge. 15 points to Matt Tebos, 16 points to overtake him out on track. Noisy is only 6,000ths of a second off Matt Tebos.
Yeah, that's certainly a very encouraging start as Wesker crosses the line and Sway goes fastest. He is the first man into the 132. It's the 132.923 for the Mercedes man, and then Boy goes into 2nd position, and so the order dramatically shaken up then, and these guys all just about topping Scuba's lap time, but Sway up to the top then by a decent margin, but it's incredibly tight then, all the way down to P6 and just over a 10 covering these guys. It's such a technical circuit. That is crazily impressive. So Sway up pole position, but just 1200ths of a second between him and P6. This is going to be incredibly close then, James. Who knows how that pole position is going to go? And it's anyone's game, anyone's guess. Who's going to wrap this up? We have an incredibly tight session on our hands here.
Yogg's on an improvement of a lap, but it's barely a 10th up coming through the middle sectors now. Sway out on top, Beauty Boy 2nd, Matt Tebos in 3rd. Top 10 are covered by just over 5/10ths of a second out on track. Yog in towards turn 17, brakes, just nearly loses the back end on the swivel. Coming through turn 18, and then coming through turn 19 on this left-hander, and now adjacent to the bay on the right-hand side. Or to the Verena, I should say, on the right-hand side. We don't want to confuse ourselves twice tonight. Coming through 20, and then through 21. Yog now to the line, goes 2nd. 132.969. That's a really good final sector, actually. 36.4 in the middle, and in the final sector. Quicker than her Beauty Boy's final sector, and way quicker than Sway's by nearly 1/10 of a second. To Sway out on top, York in 2nd. If York put a better 1st and 2nd sector in, he could have been on pole. And he could still be.
Yeah, don't forget, that last sector, we saw a couple of oversteer moments out of turns 17 and 19, so there's even more time in that. So Jorg, who has been so impressive in qualifying all season long, as, whoa, I think you've observed the same thing as me there, James. We have another contender. LMN, a 33.4 on the medium tires. Cam goes 2nd onto the front row, 1,000 clear of Jorg. This is remarkably competitive in the top 8 now, separated by 1200ths of a second. Incredibly tight then. That's a great lap from Cam to put himself into the mix. But I'm still trying to get over that LMN lap. 33.4 on the medium tires. There's so much potential left. He can throw himself right into the mix here.
Yeah, any points between 0.8 of a second and a second can get him onto pole position around here. That is the improvement, really, from a set of mediums to a set of soft compounded tyres around here. Because of the high degradation, there's not a big enough gap to try and improve. But Sway out on top, Cam there jumping up into 2nd. He's 1,000th ahead of Jorg in 3rd. Beauty Boy's in 4th. We have got less than, well, basically 1/10 of a second covering the top 7. That's all I'm going to say. 1/10 of a second covering the top 7, and 5.5/10 covering the top 12. As Secret Dundee now prepares up for his lap time out on track. The Hungarian, of course, 133.7, made his debut just a couple of weeks ago. I think he made his debut actually last week in Brazil. As he now comes through the final corner, let's see what the Tifosi can do out on track.
So over the line comes the Ferrari man. Let's see how he tackles this Raz Marina circuit, using the curve to turn in into turn 1, that hits the curve nicely over the inside line. I'm seeing a bit of flag from jumping about the track, but he is still out there, and it's quite difficult to cover this, I'm not going to lie. But what's the first sector going to be? It disappeared for me. I think it was a 16.8. This is quite difficult to track. That I believe his teammate is further up the actually though, AGU, but he's just invalidated that flying lap in the McLaren. So yes, it's a little bit of a farce. And I think Dundee's backed off as well. Then he's not opened up the DRS, and so that seems to be happening.
Oh, he is.
Is he opened up DRS? I couldn't see it open.
I couldn't see it from my camera angle either. Let's run a ball with him. Yeah, he's now using up the ERS. It was a 16.7 through the first sector on a set of slots, so there or thereabouts. In terms of the first sector, a minute and a half just over to go. Sway on top, Cam in second, Jorgen third. Cam not getting a lap time in. He retires from the session in sector 3, obviously in the pit lane. Secret Dundee now through the middle sector, 39.9 through the middle sector. Again, very respectful, but actually he's now backed up his lap time because he didn't pick up an invalidation. He just wants to try and get another run in, as AJ retires as well.
Yeah, he has the time to as well. So many drivers on outlaps looking to get things all shaken up. I think that, I'm not sure if anyone else is on a flying lap. I think it's going to be Hupuli Boy that's the first driver to start one then. In the McLaren, we saw the pace he has. We saw how close he was able to get to that pole position. Now you can see what he's made of then. Into the final corner for the penultimate time in the session is going to be it. Now we get a whole run of lap times in. Over the line, Hupuli Boy. Can he find the 600s he needs to topple Sway's pole position time?
Sway's just invalid through the first sector as well. Actually, he was on an outlap, so he's actually invalid on that outlap. A Beauty Ball now coming through turn 2, and then through turn 3, the Finn out on track with 45 seconds to go. Pre-prepared for wild and wackiness as if you've never seen it before. 16.8, 16.7 in fact from her Beauty Boy through the first sector. As Matt Tillot's retires, and her Beauty Boy runs miles out wide coming through turn 7, and that is an invalid lap, and that is the end of his session. Over and done with before really it's even begun.
Yeah, that's going to be heartbreaking for Hupuli Boy in the McLaren. We saw the potential that he has, but ultimately it just didn't quite come together. Now we're seeing a lot of drivers in getting themselves on to flying laps in. Secret Dundee is actually on one yet again, currently at 33.7. He's going to look to try. He needs a big improvement to even push himself just a little bit further up the order and look to try and get himself that little bit higher. So the Ferrari then crossing the middle sector. He is up by just over a tenth of a second, but it's not enough to push himself further. As it stands right now, and he invalidates on the inside of turn 12. So the Ferrari may well have to back off that one then. Who is going to be next up to challenge? And further back, we do have, I'm not sure if you've observed, R11 is out then, and he is actually up on the mediums. This man is on such impressive form to see into these yellow ball tires and in the AlphaTauri, attack it, and turn 14, very clean through the exit, and R11 looks to have some serious pace, but he is not looking to challenge for that pole position. As things stand, he really attacks the area at turn 17, runs it away, and gets it back in it for turn 18, and all over the curve through 19, adjustment holds together. He is on the limit then, pressing the envelope then, pushing these tires to the absolute limit, and now into the final corner, opens up the exit, and crosses the line, goes 9th. That is so impressive. Only 3/10 of pole on the medium tires. Now we have a lot of laps coming. Wesker crosses. He goes 5th into the 32s as well. So it's the Topic goes fastest by half a tenth of a second, and sweet to the line, massive oversteer, crosses by a 32.6. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant from Sway. Alonso critically puts himself up onto the front row of the grid then. How has it left to try and improve? Ryan crosses, he invalidates, so then there's the Alfa Romeos. Noisy crosses second on a 22 and York puts himself in a second as well then on a high 0.6, and 8 bucks of lap times to close off the session. What a dramatic run that was to see things up, but it was Sway on pole position by the smallest of margins. What an exhausting session. Sway tops it, but my oh my did he have to work for it.
My God, that was the most thrilling qualifying session I think I've qualified in Abu Dhabi, period. Sway on top from Jorgen second, Noisy in third, the two Alfa Romeos second and third, Alonso in fourth, Isotopic fifth, Cam in sixth, Beauty Boy seventh, Wesker eighth, AJ and Matt Tibbles, by the way, is at the lap time, same lap time in 9th and 10th position, with LMN and 11th starting outside of the mediums. That was my main concern, but he's outside of the top 10. Callboy, Ryan, Secret Dundee, TDB, Scuba obviously getting his lap time in on a set of intermediates, of course. That doesn't bear anything to his lap time as well. But out on track, Sway, purple middle, purple final on that lap, gets him a 132.605. In his first sector, he was more than a tenth and a half down off Jorg. What happened to Jorg and Noisy off the lap? I'll tell you what happened. He lost time in the final sector by 0.2 of a second, and that's what cost him pole.
Ultimately, that is what cost the pole. And Sway, we saw him nearly lose it out of the final corner. Stunning final sector then on a 36.2, the fastest of anyone throughout qualifying. And so he's been in a stunner then, and he starts on position. Of course, everyone inside the top 10 then going to be on those soft tires to start the Grand Prix. And it's going to be fascinating to see how things evolve with those guys out there, because those soft tires don't last the longest. You can do a one-stop at this track, but whether it's faster than a two-stop from the softs is certainly up in the air. But you can run a soft-to-hard strategy is generally what you see, but you're certainly going to be pitting early. These guys, I don't suspect any of them will be going longer than lap 7 or 8 on these tires and pressing them. So I don't expect anyone outside the top 10 to be opting for those softs. And indeed, everyone but the medium tires then. 11 to 16 on the mediums, complete strategic divide, and so the top 10 on the softs, they can hold off the chasing pack. Those softs go off pretty quickly. Can they stay in front though and hold off that charging pack of runners outside of that top 10?
Well, if they followed Verstappen in Division 1, he went softs to hards. The VSC in the safety car, yes, saved him. But one stop can be done around here, so is any driver from the top 10 going to try and risk and try and change their strategy to try and get a big undercut? This is probably one of the biggest circuits where you can get an undercut out on track. It's a big, expansive lap, like 1 minute 35s, 36s in the races can be set. Sway out on top, then Jorgen second, Noisy in third. As you mentioned, there's the tyre compound on the left-hand side. Medium compounded tyres for 11th down to 16th. And most interestingly, Element, he had so much pace on that set of mediums. He's in 11th position coming into tonight. AJ's just in front of him. Matt Tibos in second in the championship, just in front of him as well. If Element shows the same pace he did in the set of mediums than he did in qualifying, surely he's going to be one to watch later on in the race.
And you cannot rule out Scuba, the man starting at the back of the grid. Seen out qualifying, he didn't have any interest in that. He wants to give himself a challenge to cap off the season, of course, with his title. Both drivers and constructors all wrapped up. There's no pressure on the man here, you bet. He's going to go at it to try and wrap up his championship winning campaign in style. But it is going to be sweet. Jorgen Noisy, that Alfa Romeo duo has been second only, I think, to the Red Bull guys. They always seem to be near each other on track, always pressing each other, and it's going to be fascinating to see them again sway up at the front. But how close was the whole field on pace in qualifying? It sets us up with a thriller in our hands. We'll keep an eye out for the guys outside the top 10. No one can be ruled out here in Abu Dhabi. Sway gets him round to the grid then, leads them away. I think maybe something in the chat's taken to your eye, James, as it so often does.
No, I saw in the Discord actually, May is saying, as of next season, we'll be changing the format of races to one-shot qualifying and 100%. I know this is a big change, but we're going to trial it and hope everyone gets behind the system. Happy April Fools, everyone. Sway, out on top, Jorgen second, Noisy in third. Our Maze likes to wind us up here, doesn't he? Quickly, I'll cross to you, Dan. Who's your top 3?
Don't have much time to give this one up, but you know what? Let's go bold and brave. AGU to, LMN to win the Grand Prix then. We'll save Sway for a second and Scuba for third. Let's see how it works out. That's bold, but we'll see if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, 5 red lights then are about to go out very soon indeed. Now in the gantry they come on. 5 red lights for the final time here in Season 3, Division 2. And it's lights out, away we go, and Sway gets a very good start. So does Jorg, and so does Noisy, but Alonso's right down the inside, running down and towards turn on. Top 4 stay as they are. Sway leads the way. Isotopic holds off Cam on the outside line. In fact, Cam's up the inside line, coming through 2. Little bit of contact as they go side by side through 2. But they hang on to 5th and 6th. They remain as they are pretty much further down the field. Secret Dundee and Scuba are having a battle further down the field now to the pinch point in the circuit at turn 5, then through turn 6, all through safely. Sway leads the way from Jorgen second, Noisy in third. We come onto the straight for the first time. Predicted pit stop strategy, lap 8 to 12, lap 16 to 20, a little bit of carnage further down the field. I think Secret Dundee in a little bit of AI mode possibly as Scuba goes past him, but Scuba now down into 15th position. He's up into 15th position, but Sway leads the way. Jorgen second, Noisy in through third through the first half of the lap, and Sway holds the lead, and the top 4 pretty much have held position as well.
Yeah, it looked pretty clean down there, but I saw at the back of the field we had R11 coming to get a TDB right into the back of Cornboy. Then has lost a bit of front wing, and now at the back of the field they're going almost 3 abreast. Secret Dundee cuts it, he's in front of TDB, and now he's attacking Scuba to the inside line. He attacks the championship winner. He gets on the inside, over the curve. Scuba will hold on round the outside and cover it off and try and chase down the pack in front. Exhale right, and a brilliant start up in a 10th then, and the leading medium runner, he chases on to AGU in front of him, then into McLaren looks to try and hold it back, and Hobie over the curve on the inside of turn 17, just holds it together. Of course, overtaking so difficult in this final sector, but from the lead, Sway leads comfortably from the Alfa Romeos. They're going to chase him down. Noisy over the back of his teammate, doesn't get through right now. Sway leads by 8/10 of a second, running away at the front end, and if he can get that DRS range, he's in good stead. So Jorg has to hang on then, sticking it behind him, but Sway leading nice in it. He's got to a brilliant start then. Jorg though, just about going with him. This battle at the front end, 1 lap down, and it's already beginning to peak then. The whole field basically in a DRS train, apart from TDB who goes to the pit lane then, unable to make the most of it. New medium's going on front wing. He needs a safety car to get back in this race. Disaster on the opening lap for TDB.
Yeah, disaster for TDB. I was just going to say he had damage on the first lap of the race. Looking at the task system, actually, I'm just seeing all the yellows appearing up on the task system. It's really nice. It's been upgraded. Sway leads the way from York in second, Noisy in third, Alonso in fourth. 1 warning already, actually, for Sway out, and from 1 warning as well for Cam, and 1 warning, or 2 warnings, I should say, for Dundee, right down the back of the field in 15th. TDP, of course, behind him in 16th. Into the pit then, he's fresh out on a set of mediums, going to be doing a 2-stop right to the end of the race, but Sway leads the way, and actually Wesker is now pressurising her beauty ball. The Finn actually just lets him on by. The Austrian is through then into 7th position, and Wesker, of course, a former race winner here in Division 2, and Wesker will be able to try and make his way through the field. The beauty ball in 8th, AJ in 9th, Cam is right on the back of Alonso as well, running now down in towards the triple right. Not going to go for a move here, down in towards turn 17 is he, down the inside he goes on the German, really rough and tumble, goes around the outside of turn 18, this is brave and bold from Cam, and it's brilliant from Cam. That is one of the most insane moves I think I've ever seen, coming through the final sector. Cam has just mugged Alonso as if he wasn't even there, and Cam is through and he's into 4th position, one of the boldest overtaking spots on the track. How on earth did he manage that? I do not know.
That was stunning, staggering from NCL Camp, and he's going to try and get himself up to the leaders. The gap's beginning to appear. Sway really pressing at the front of the field then, and York just trying to stay within that DRS then. The DRS detection point is over the line here then. Does York get it? I think he just about will then in the Alpha, but he's got some pressure on him to try and stay in touch then. He will get DRS. He's going to try and hang on in there because Sway is lightning quick up at the front of the race. For the time being then, looks like behind the running mostly the DRS straight west, on the back of Isotopic. He's showing a lot of race pace early as the racing point is to the inside. Noisy on his teammate gets through, and Jorgen runs into the back of him through turn 8. Jorg, of course, not playing to get swap and change between these two, and now Noisy going on the track trying to get up to Sway, but Sway so impressive early on, stretching clear in the Mercedes. He leads by 1.1 seconds. The pole setter is unpaid for him here. Those Alphas gonna have to work hard because Sway is on it tonight and made it clear at the front, but still only on lap 3, still an awful long way to go in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, no hanging about from the Alfa Romeos out on track. Noisy through. Jorg clearly feeling as if he hasn't got the pace out on track. Noisy feeling he is the quicker driver, and that is the pure tactics, I think, of the Alfa Romeo guys to try and get. And of course, Noisy is behind Jorg going into the championship. He runs out wide slightly there coming out of turn 19, but Sway leads away on the end of lap 3. No overtakes apart from that stunning move with Cam around the outside through 18. Sway then leads the way onto lap 4. Noisy in second, Jorg in third. Noisy sets a new fast start the race. Secret Dundee with the first 3-second time penalty of the race out on track as Wesker tries to close in on the back of Isotopic, running down in towards turn on the racing point, right on the back of the Ferrari. And in terms of the ERS actually usage out on track, and really good usage from everyone. 52% for the leader Sway. Noisy's got 25%. York's got 71. Cam really needs to save up that overtake mode, and he really needs to save up his ERS as well, because he's got 9% of ERS running into that hairpin. Already on lap 4, he's got to be one very, very careful boy out on track.
He's actually using overtake down the back straight as well, and again a turn in and being so ambitious further back as well. Wesker looking at the rear wing of the Ferrari of Isotopic, thinks about it but doesn't commit to it. Isotopic covers it off, going in at turn 8, but look at the opening lane. That Wesker has great exit at turn 9, and the Ferrari under serious pressure then from the racing point, who's right underneath his rear wing, looks to the outside of the turn 11. Can he sweep all the way around the inside? Would be spectacular if he pulls this one off, but the inside lane, hell, can he go all the way around the outside into the turn 12, gets pitched on the switchback for the exit at turn 14, backs into that one. Wesker can't get through. Isotopic will hold it back, but just about. Wesker on the move, and these guys battling, they've dropped off as well, so Isotopic's going to have to really work, but he makes a mistake again in a turn 17. The racing point swarming to either side of him, left side, right side, but the gaps do not open up in this last sector. Isotopic just holds it back, but the gap 1.4 to the guys in front. There's gaps opening up because Jorg can't quite match the front two as it stands there. Swaley is noisy. Noisy's worked his back in it. Alonso went barely, and that's a major undercut. It's a two-stop attempt. That's very early from Alonso. He dives in early. We'll see what the tires go. He's going to try and jump these guys through the pit, so then the Haas man, what tires are going to be going on? Looks like mediums. That's a two-stop without question, so he puts them on then. A lot of recovery to be done. Alonso, a two-stop strategy. He's going to put some serious work in his Cam, an early penalty. They're really racking up these warnings early in the race.
Yeah, Cam, 3-second time penalty. Swallow leading Noisy in second. Noisy as close as he's been so far, and actually Cam is as close as he's been on the back of Jorg, and Jorg has got no DRS from his teammate ahead of him, and this should be easy pickings for Cam to try and get the move done on Jorg. Speaking of easy pickings, Wesker's going to move past Isotopic, running down the straight. The two McLarens are running nearly line astern, running down in towards turn 8 to spell her Beauty Boy, and AJ now on the back of this battle. Wesker through, no nonsense from the Austrian, he's through and he's into fifth. Cam is not close enough, he needs to save up that ERS out on track at 5% compared to the guys around him who are on the likes of 21, 36, and actually a Beauty Boy now on the back of Isotopic, tries to go all the way around the outside. The two Scandinavians go at it, and a Beauty Boy on the inside line, Isotopic on the outside line. AJ now trying to join in the fight as well, but a Beauty Boy round the outside through 14, gets the move done. A little bit of a catch there. AJ just contacts the back of Isotopic, and Isotopic falls his way down the field. In the battle of the Scandinavians though, a Beauty Boy through, Isotopic getting caught in a Scandinavian flick. Typical Scandinavian racing.
Well, that was some stunning stuff from a Beauty Boy, moving himself up into that second position. He didn't get a final run in qualifying. He probably thinks it's a bit more in attack, and he is showing it. Cam diving in then. He caught up to the back of Jorg, now opting for that pit lane further in the order. Isotopic has also gone in. We saw that contact, and he's definitely taken quite a bit out of the tires. The tire wear course so high on those soft tires then, especially with a qualifying lap on them. A lot of these guys are already pushing 40% in the race. Medium's going up for Cam. Medium's on for Isotopic. They're also looking for a two-stop. Where does Alonso emerge? Relative to these guys, he was running just behind Cam, but let's see how powerful the undercut is going to be. The answer is very. He is ahead and ahead emphatically. Alonso jumps clear these guys. On the mediums, he will be pressing, he will be pushing to try and get himself further up. So he's going to try and make the most of it then. Moving up the order as it stands, ZG now, right on the back of his teammate who purely boarded in, and the McLaren's going to go to war. Yes, they will in the turn 8 now, but AJ, this one, Dylan Ryan sends it down the inside. Can he get a stop to turn it? Round into the turn 9, they giving wheel-to-wheel contact, and the Purely Boy is still in front, but Ryan's not giving it up just yet with the DRS, with the ERS, but the Purely Boy has both as well. We'll just hold on to it. Ryan, a spectacular brave lunge then. He just about is able to get through. Mateos now with these guys who didn't get away well at all from the soft tires. He's trying to work his way back then, and more medium runners with it. Element, Coreboy, Scuba, and they're all right with it. So the field's so close to this midfield. They battle away up front. The gap's opening up. The Wesker pulling clear as Sway still leads away from Noisy. Any of these guys are going to dive to the pit lane, and it's going to be Noisy. And then what the tire is going to be, he could well go for hard. They could go to the end of the race. We'll see what they can do. All these guys are minions. They'll grab an undercut, but Noisy and Jorg and Sway up the front look to be thinking about the long game there. So down the pit lane goes CG Noisy then, and watch to his pit box then. It looks like another set of mediums going on. So he's opted for the yellow walls as well, and these guys seem to be all going for that two-stop strategy. So they're going in for that right now, but still everyone else on the stop staying out. Can he stretch it? Can he make the one still happen?
Jesus! Alonso's crashed into the pit lane!
Oh no!
Alonso's crashed into the pit lane. He had right side end plate damage on the car, and I was just on board with him thinking, oh, he's gonna just sail his way into the pit lane. Ryan has dive bombed it down the inside of Beauty Boy. It's all beginning to kick off, but Alonso then out the race. Green flag racing straight away because he crashed into the pit lane. He crashed on the right side. His right side tyre went off that car, and he tried to recover it, couldn't quite fix it. Even in the pit lane, he can't really fight. Oh, it's Matt Tibos! Nearly runs into the back of the sister car of the AlphaTauri of LMN, and he rejoins track behind him, and that is legal, of course. He can do that and join behind the driver in front. Now Ryan attacking AJU around the outside. Ryan is through and he's into fourth position and is making really eye-catching progress through this field. We also see move for LMN on the back of Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos then is back through on LMN. Alonso leaving the session out of frustration, but we are a quarter of the way through. Sway leads the way, Jorgen second, Wesker in third. What does Sway do now, though? Because Noisy has put it in. He's in clear out on track and is gaining quite a lot out on track as well. And surely Sway has got to respond to Noisy this lap. No, he doesn't. He stays out. Is Jorg going to respond to Noisy? Yes. Noisy is in, and Jorg is in. Wesker doesn't respond to Jorg into the pit lane. Alfa Romeo's got a bit of a different strategy compared to the Mercedes in the Racing Point around.
Yes, so far these guys all staying out Ryan up at the P3. He's had a stellar race so far. Jorg, though, into his pit box again. His mediums going on further back. Herpuli Boy also in there going for mediums. Looks like that's the prevailing strategy here amongst these soft starters, but four of them still remain out in the pack and still battling away. That Scuba, though, he's lighting up LMN. He's had a good start to the race, and he's just moved past Core Boy in the last few laps. And so the Red Bull advancing, the Mercedes receding through the field at the moment, and LMN gets very close to the back of Matt Tibos then, and the overtake and the DRS now is open and flowing for Scuba, but I think he will just about be too far away. 2 tenths back. He is a little bit quicker down the straight, the AlphaTauri, who does will need to cover to the inside slightly. Scuba close to the rear wing and actually hits it very slightly. The tornado, I think it's a Constantino effect with Coreboy Dundee and behind as well. But these guys punch the way through then. On to his Matt Tibos now, attacking further blue than on AGU, sweeping round the outside, jumped up before he even reached the apex. Through goes Matt Tibos, the P4, further down the order. It's a Purely Boy on TDB who struggles with those other tires. Matt Tibos, has he made a mistake then? Going through turn 13 and AGU, so he must go to legal overtake, yes, and decides to let it back through, and he's right on him in a turn 17. Surely not down to the inside, he gets very close to the back of the McLaren, who also at the front. AGU holding it back, then what are these racing is going to do? Sway's going to stay up again, surely he's going for a one stop here.
He has to be going for one stop. Ryan's right on the back of Wesker, and Wesker feels the threat, but he's going to go one stop as well. And Ryan is on the back of these guys, and the mediums are now in prime territory to try and take these guys now towards the end of the race on a one stop strategy. So Ryan is going to be the one to watch. LMN is right on the back of Matt Tibos, running down in towards someone. I believe Matt Tibos either made a mistake, as you said, or he just let him through, but as a result of an illegal overtake. I can only think it's one of those two scenarios that we saw. LMN now on the back of Matt Tibos, looks to the inside line. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it's TDB that might be round out on track as he comes into the pit lane. He might have crashed just before the pit lane, in fact, as LMN now is in 6th position, tries to go down the inside as TDB now retires out on track as Dundee forces its way through very aggressively, I've got to say, on Coreboy. Coreboy will not like that. Ryan and Wesker, though, side by side, battle lines drawn, running down in towards turn 8 as Ryan is through and he's into second.
Yeah, he's able to get through on Wesker. You can see that great fading from those soft tires then.
Matt
Tibos with damage, you see then. Further down the order, that's Scuba, sorry. I think the Scuba has picked up damage then in the other Red Bull. So that is now the champion-elect suffering, and he's going to really struggle to make the most of it. That's pretty significant damage, 44% on that front wing. So he's going to have to struggle through, surely coming in at the conclusion of this lap. He is still soldiering on though, but he's got pressure from Sequoia Tony, who's already made one really aggressive overtake on that slap, but he's too far away for the dive. Heading in to turn 17, he will still look, he will still loop. Watch the front of the race now. Sway out another lap. I think he may be going, you know what, this is possible. He may be going for a soft medium strategy, and the mediums could possibly get to the end. Wesker staying out again. It's definitely a one stop. The question is, what will they go for in the pit lane? Scuba does dive in, as does AJU further up the road then in the McLaren. What tires are going to be fitted in for the McLaren man? Into the pit lane he goes in, and it's going to be mediums. But I tell you what, well, those tires, it's not impossible that he can take those to the end of the race, and it will be difficult. He'll emerge a long way off the back. You can see that the power of that undercut, but he's going to try and make the most of it. Further up the order, very close to his man, T-Boss under loads of pressure then from Ecos Elevator, tries to get alongside through turn 7, it is clipped from by Skate Redundantly. The Ferrari tries to get up alongside the Avatar and is tucked underneath the rear wing. Matt T-Boss getting a bit of a break then as the two drivers may go to war. Secret Dudley getting up alongside then, going into turning then. He has the front wing alongside the brakes a little bit later, gets caught by the Red Bull, but sweeps around the outside. Electron holding the big contact. Nearly round goes the Ferrari, just holds onto the convoy through the exit. Again they touch. This time the Mercedes does get through and will hold on to the place. This time I think that Dundee is not quite close enough. So Element had turned a tag into the fence, was able to just about hold on. Dundee getting very close, doesn't get through though. Has to whack for the time being. These guys are getting signed out, Matt Timofson, losing heaps of time. Lexa Ryan puts the gap for these guys on the medium tires. He's had a stellar race so far as Ryan. He's right in the mix here in Abu Dhabi.
He is in the mix and he's gained 7-8 tenths of a second on this lap already on the back of Sway. Sway is into the pit lane. 18 laps on a set of medium combat tires. Did he lose it on the curve coming into the pit lane there? But now he is in. Ryan now put into the lead of the race and he is going to go set of hards, I think, toward the end. No, sorry, that's a set of mediums. That's my eyesight going astray there as he now goes into the pit lane for a set of medium compound tires. But where is he going to come out? Along the likes of Noisy. There's Noisy. He's only gone through camera shot. Noisy's through turn 1. Yoga's through turn 1. And Sway has lost out really big here. He's pretty much side by side with Isotopic coming out the pit lane. And Isotopic is going to be ahead by around 1.5 seconds. We saw with Alonso further down when he came into the pit lane. But Isotopic in 7th position. Sway now in 8th. And Sway has lost out big time. But more crucially, he's on fresher tyres than the rest. He's got 17 laps roughly to get to the end of the race as Cam now closes in on the back of Noisy once again, and Noisy is going to try and attack the back of Cowboy. Cowboy will then attack the back of LMN running down in towards turn 8, so good look quite close on the run up down in towards turn 11. Certainly look at the closing speed of Noisy. He's in the net lead of the race. This is crucial though. He's got to get past Cowboy and he's got to get past LMN now if he wants to stand a chance to try and get this race spin out on track. There's one. Is he going to go for Element? I think he's too far back. Actually, commits it. Ooh. Nearly on the back. He nearly gets 2, but he's going to have to wait. I think maybe into turn 17 possibly could be a go.
But is he going to be near enough then? It's so risky to get through. We've already seen Cam attacking there, but I think Noisy is not going to risk it with the position he has. Ryan with a comfortable lead up in front then. We'll see how long he's willing to stretch those mediums for us to when he's going to dive to the pit lane. He's staying out. He might be going for softs further down the line. Look at Cam though. How did Corboy outside of turn 20? Surely not just right in a rim behind the Mercedes, but again in turn 21 he's looking left and right, but the gap does not open up. He gets a great run though over the last corner. Bit of a chirp in the rear wheels on the Mercedes and out to the inside looks Laredo, but Corboy will cover it off, will defend it, but Cam is doing everything out he wants to try and stick with Noisy. Noisy though on the attack, on the back of Element, and now Cam right with the Mercedes kind of in a run into the chicane at turn 5 then. Is he going to look to the inside around and he dives it low, half committed, knew it was too far back, it's too short a braking zone, now into the hairpin, he waits, he bites his time, further up the road, Noisy now, looking to go on to the attack that he's waited all the way throughout the lap, and this Cam gets alongside Corboy, then but Corboy with more straight line speed underneath him. Here comes the Alfa Romeo on the Avatar, will be an easy move to the inside line, but look at him going side by side further back then, and Corboy around the inside. Cam throws the anchors down, runs it out wide, they touch the turn ahead, and wow, Jorg somehow doesn't run into the back of the Mercedes and then going side by side. He has more battery to use, so Jorg going the inside line through turn 10 and he can just muscle his way through. The Mercedes can't hold it back then, so Corboy losing out then. Through goes Cam, through goes York, but they struggle to stick with Noisy. Noisy further up the road now. They gap now. Sway is emerging, trying to chase these guys down. He's in front of Isotopic. He's just got past the last lap. It is chaos all the way through the field. Scuba and Secret Dundee, this battle's going low through the field, but Ryan still up front. We're near the halfway point. So much action early on. Ryan though, still stretching his tires. If he goes to softs, he's a major play in this race. The Williams back cannot be overlooked. He is making absolutely brilliant work out of those tires.
Yeah, he's making giant strides on those tyres out on track. 6.4 seconds the gap. Of course, he is losing time to Noisy, but the welcome a point. If Ryan decides to go for a set of soft compounded tyres, that he's got to commit it, and he's got to commit it now, I think. Noisy is 6.3 seconds behind, and there'll be a point as well where Noisy's tyres will begin to go off. Here's Cam, right on the back of Element. He's not going to go for a dive down the inside. He's got to be very careful on that ERS.
no.
He does dive it down the inside and towards turn 4. Element recognises he's there. He draws wide, and Cam is now all drawn. Quartered, ran down and towards turn 6. Through the hairpin he goes. Yorga's right on the back of this as well. Yorga's got a choice of a double toe here with Cam and Element just in front of him. He's got so much battery to deploy as well. It's going to be like a part of the Red Sea. It's like on a plate for him. Yorg now is through into P4, now through into P3. Cam is surely not going to come back. Actually, Cam is so late on the brakes, he nearly overcommits the corner. How's he got that car stopped? I do not know. Yorg now on the back with Element still not fighting this as well. Surely Yorg is now going to fight back Cam. Cam is now going to be surely a rear wing distant out on track. Sway is on the back of Cowboy as well. The two Mercedes batsmen. Cam again dives down the inside line. Really aggressive racing from the Brit. Somehow again he gets it stopped. But Yorg, all of these dive bombs are really not playing into the hands of either Cam or Yorg. It's letting Noisy get away. Sway now through on Cowboy. He joins in the fray, but he's still in traffic. And with Cam diving pretty much down every single corner on Yorg, Yorg is now going to try, I think, and bite him back where it hurts most and put him under pressure.
He needs, I think, to pull a good gap going into a braking zone because Cam looks to always be the last of the late breakers. He's been throwing it down all the way through the races. Element big overs here. He's got Sway right up behind him then. And the Mercedes is on the attack then with fresher tires. With a penalty to his name, he's going to look to try and go at it out on track then. But Cam leads Yorg and is pulling clear slightly. He's still so low on battery, but he's fighting for everything. It's Sway. Look at how close he is to the back of the avatar. Surely he's not going to go for it here then. Into the chicane. He starts him behind him, but waits. He bides his time then. Now, through turn 6, he still waits. Is he going to the inside of the hairpin? No, he gets very close to the rear wing of the avatar, but he's got better tires. He's got more grip. He has more momentum. Kicking off turn 7, and now down the straight. Up into DRS, and it's easy pickings for the Mercedes man. He cruises through. Further down the road, Isotopic looking to go on the attack, and only other Mercedes who will hold him back. Isotopic cannot dive it. He is not near enough into the braking zone of the chicane and has to wait just a little bit longer. York still right with Cam. He's going to go for it again here. And a turn 11 into the outside. He goes to the Renault. Is Cam going to dive it again? You bet it is. He runs into the back and he's got damage. And they come together. Cam now with damage to his front wing. He just got a bit too ambitious this time. He has 44% damage. He's going to have to pit surely. Downforce dissipating. So much risk. So much reward for the most part out of the race for Cam, but that one just didn't go off well. He runs clear into the back of York. Again, both lose time there, but Cam now slipping back, swinging him all over him. That's heartbreak for Cam, and great efforts in the first half of the race. Come to an end now, swinging to the inside lane, and turn 29 and 2, they come together. They come together. Cam's going to stay out then. He's trying to nurse those tires, that front wing through, but Sway Hardy can't get through on the Renault. Cam's going to try and hold on in there, but without the front wing, surely he's going to slip back then. Sway all over him. Cam was only be great overtakes in this race, but one step too far then, and now he slips back then. Yorgo already fully clear at the front then. Heartbreak for the Renault.
Who would have thought I'd be saying these 4 words in the same sentence? Abu Dhabi, instant classic. Sway tried to go on the outside of turn 4, tries to get the move done, now through turn 5, and now in towards the hairpin at 6. He's right on the back of Cam. He runs into the back of Cam. Has he picked up any damage out on track? I don't think he has. By the way, Ryan's tyres are in really fresh condition. 56% on that front right tyre. He could go pretty much 70% will take him to about lap 20, I think. Sway now on the back of Cam. Cam, too much risk. Is the reward really for Cam? He now looks to the inside line, but Sway is through and he's into 4th position. Cam took too much risk, I think, with his diving moves down the inside. It really hurt him most, and it came back to bite him right on the backside, I think, as now Cam looks to the outside line on the back of Sway, trying to go around the outside. He might actually prove me wrong here as Cam is through. Is he? Sway now on the inside line. They nearly touch. Really good fighting through turn 13. Now through 14. Sway on the inside line. Cam, it's really aggressive racing, but I tell you what, what? It's a really good spectacle to watch. But looking behind, LMN, Isotopic, Callboy, Hapuny Boy, Wesker now joining in the fray as well. This battle all spawning from Cam. Noisy and York, the two alpha males are getting away out in front. Sway has been held up absolute big time here out on track by Cam. Not only that, Cam's got damage and Sway has got no way to try and get through. Cam is staying out there and he's committed to going to set us off, I think. Sway in behind. He is really troubling them, and as long as Cam stays in front of Sway, I think Sway is not going to have a chance to try and get the move down in towards turn 1. He don't actually get to switch back, running down in towards turn 2, Sway to the inside. Oh my god! Jesus Christ, Cam! How on earth have they not came together there? I do not know. Cam in 4th, Sway in 5th position, Hapuny Boy and Wesker having to go battle further down the field as well. Ryan is getting closed down by Noisy. My god, please take over, Dan. My voice is parched.
But now, Sway with a run again then, on the back of the Reno, who still will not be willing to give this up. Sway in the slipstream then, draws level to the outside lane and turning, he's going to get in front, but will it be enough? Is Cam going to throw it down the inside? Yes, he does, on the Mercedes who gives it to space then. Can Cam do it twice in a row with the exit? Coming over turn 9, and again, Sway frustrated. He is still going to have to remain on the defensive here, as Cam charges at him with DRS, and the slipstream to the outside. Turn 11, can he get it done on the basic? Sweeping his way right inside. Cam gets it done. Isotopic dives through the minute. Ferrari and Alvatari side by side through 13. The Alvatari holds the inside line. Will stay in front of the Ferrari then. Cam swept around here. See the sway further though then. Through goes the Reno. Back goes the Mercedes. Through goes the Alvatari into the back. Isotopic. I think there's damage for the Ferrari. Goes straight into the wall. And he collects. He collects the McLaren. That's carnage. Down the full safety car deployed instantly. The race would have win. Ryan immediately dives to the penalty. Soon as Noisy about him. The Alfa Romeo is double stacking. The race, the wide open Cam is going to come into the fence as well. Get that front wing repaired. But Ryan thrust right into this one then. They put the tires on and it's going to be who's staying out there is AJ who goes right to the front of the McLaren going risking it. He's got some tires underneath him and Secret Dundee out of it. Chaos, and I think with how aggressive that battle was, that was a matter of when, not if, James.
Yeah, just a matter of when, not if. Definitely Dan and AJ now out on top. He's on a set of medium compounded tyres, but Ryan has been handed this race, I think, on a silver platter. He's on soft compounded tyres. AJ's out there on a set of mediums. He hasn't got any damage, albeit. Mediums, 28% for AJ. Ryan, I mean, is on 5% tyres at the minute. Yes, he's just came out the pit lane, but that's probably negated, I think, by the task system. It could be something like 2 or 3% when he's came out the pit lane there. But Ryan now is in the pole position. See, Noisy, interestingly, though, what strikes me, he's gone for the set of mediums in behind. That is not a bad strategy call as well, because I think, personally, 6 laps around this track on a set of soft compounded tyres will be enough to do damage on those, especially if you lock up pretty much into every single braking zone out on track. We saw it in Division 1, where drivers were like 70-75% towards the end of the race. They managed to get to the end, but those softs, I don't think have got a guarantee of getting to the end of the race. 11 and a half laps to go, basically, from this point. It is going to be touch and go, but if anybody can do it in terms of his tyre wear so far in this race, which has been absolutely sublime, it's Ryan in P2, Noisy in P3. He'd be hoping to just try and stay on the back of Ryan, as opposed to try and attack him. Sway, though, is going to be pressurising him. Don't rule out York, don't rule out LMN, and I've got to be honest, don't rule out Wesker either, down in P8.
I don't think you can rule out any of the 13 drivers still remaining in the race. They have went at it from lights out at the start of the race. It's been a cracking season finale here at Abu Dhabi. How often do we see a race at Abu Dhabi is a cracker? Well, we've got one here tonight. But AGU is going to control this one. Penny's not going to lie down and accept the swapping from the cars in front. But the reality is, every other car in the race has fresh tires underneath him. Keeping that race lead will be almost impossible, I suspect, for the McLaren driver. He's going to need a bit of luck on his side. End of next lap, surely. We'll get underway. 13 drivers are going to have it out for what is going to be 10 laps to the checkered flag. I'm not sure if you've observed anything further down the order or anything that's caught your eye, James. I know you any expressions that you blurt out in the middle of the races.
Frey Pepper in the comments section saying that Ryan might have cut the pit entry. Whether that's legal or not, I'm not sure about this track, because obviously through turn 20, it's really difficult to try and get into the pit lane on the right-hand side without running over the white line into the pit lane. So they might look over that, but just an observation from Frey Pepper. Really, really going to be interesting to see if any action is taken as a result of that. But Ryan on the back of AJ, lap 18 out of 28. We've got 10 laps to go. God knows what can happen in these next 10 laps. Be prepared, get your cup of tea, get your popcorn at the ready, get on the edge of your seat, because honestly, this could be the best season finale of the season so far in any division here in TTML.
Well, let's see if it's going to live up to the hype, but it is going to be AGU. When he goes, he will go and he will control it, but he is going to have a load up against them. But I believe it's, with the fuel pod stopped it, it's going into turn 11 when we'll see the safety car head towards the pit lane and then AGU to control it. It's such a technical, twisty final sector. He has got options available to him. I think it's 10 corners in that last sector that he can choose from when he is going to get on it to that throttle pedal. So we'll see how he controls it then. Heading now towards that last sector is the safety car, and there is the call from race control. Safety car is in this lap then. 13 drivers then of varying tire strategies now, looking to go at it for one final time. What's been a cracking, spectacular season so far. AGU leads Ryan, and behind him, Ryan has looked supreme the whole race. The safety cars were never to get to his hands as well, but who knows what could happen. There's infinite possibilities there. AGU controls it. When will he go? When will he put his foot down? But with Ryan behind on fresh softs, the McLaren driver is going to be so hard pressed to keep the Williams at bay.
Yeah, knowing AJ, I think he'll probably try and leave it as late as possible. Probably in the exit into the final corner, I think might be the chance to go. Ryan is in behind him. He has got to try and negate that Ryan is on a set of soft compounded tyres at this point. AJ has got to get this start right. If not, he is in big trouble. He will be in big trouble, I think, anyways, with Ryan and the likes of Sway and Jorg further down the field on a set of soft compound tyres. The only thing that will work for him is the DRS. He comes out of turn 20. He's going to wait just until the final corner, and now he says go. There's a little bit of weaving, actually, in the background. I think that was Wesker trying to get up the temperature. But AJ now crosses the line. We're back in the way. Lap 19 out of 28 here in Abu Dhabi, and Ryan is right on the back of AJ under the restart. Cowboy is already through on Matt Tibos, and Scuba, in fact, is already through on Matt Tibos as well. And was it Matt Tibos, actually, that might have lost it coming through turn 21? He's right on the back. Ryan is actually going for the move for the lead of the race already. Ryan down the inside line. No nonsense at all from Ryan. Dives it down the inside. He didn't even need DRS. Ryan is through and he's into the lead of the race. AJ now in massive, massive trouble with Noisy right on the back of him, actually, with Sway as well. A little bit of a Constantine effect into the hairpin, but Ryan away by 5.5 tenths. AJ second, Noisy in third. Of course, no DRS. It's purely slipstream. It's old school fashion Formula 1 racing here in Abu Dhabi for the next 3 laps until the DRS is enabled. Jorg right on the back of Sway as well. But Ryan, he got the start. AJ in big trouble off the start, and Ryan 6 tenths of a second, and now he's pretty much got control of this race.
He's jumped clear immediately then. Here in Abu Dhabi, he's going to break at the front of the race then. Battles further down the order. Wesker to the outside of NTL Camden, and Camden to the side of Element, and he come together, and round goes the Rhino again. Again, so ambitious on the brakes, and this time he drops to the complete rear of the field then, and he was trying to defend from Wesker. Wesker attacking to the outside, but ultimately it just didn't work out for the Rhino man, and now he slips to the back of the field. Heartbreaking race for Cam after such a promising start, such good pace in the early stage of the race. But look to the front, XL Ryan is really on it here, pulling more than a second clear already then as Noisy hounds AGU, bang over through over turn 21 as he tries to get up to McLaren, but he is too far away. And he gets turn 1, but we've seen the overtakes to this first sector. Gets the great drive, he's going to go to the inside into turn 2 then, round he goes and out of the race. It's Noisy, safety car deployed and Noisy just ambitious to the inside. AGU didn't back off, neither did Noisy, and having driven such a good race, the Alfa Romeo spears into the wall and his winning chances disappear in an instant. Heartbreaking, heart-etching for TTG Noisy, now out of the race again. The safety car will re-emerge. We'll get our shorter sprint to the line then. Noisy to the inside, just a bit too ambitious. AGU didn't leave him too much space. It's so difficult to go side by side, and ultimately that's the result. Noisy out of the race, and that's a heartbreaking way to cap off his season.
Yeah, Noisy, I think, honestly, should have just waited until turn 4 and then try to get the move done there, maybe even down the straight as well. But Noisy, I think, just too ambitious, and we're just seeing a little bit of driving standards beginning to slip. It's desperation, it's final race of the season. I totally get why these guys want it out on track. It's the final race of the season, want to leave everything on the line, but they've got to do it in a clean way. They cannot try and go for the move down and towards turn 2, because turn 2 will punish you. Noisy into the wall. That's his chances as well of second place in the championship gone. He's going to finish tied on points with Alonso no matter what happens here tonight with both of them out of the race. It now means, actually, in terms of the battle for P2, and I'm just trying to calculate this up, Matt Tibos is down in 11th position. He's going to be getting 9 points currently. Jorg is in 4th at this moment in time, and he's going to be getting, correct me if I'm wrong, he's going to be getting 18 points at this moment in time. So it's not enough to overtake Matt Tibos out on track. The only other man that's in this is LMN, and LMN is down in 5th, and he's behind Jorg. So LMN cannot get second position. At this moment in time, I think Matt Tibos has got an advantage of Jorg. Maybe 7 or 8 points, I think, is the gap at this stage. As Matt Tibos and Cam both into the pit lane, and they're going to go on for set of softs.
Yeah, they're going to get the fresher tires on. I think that's the right thing to do then. Of course, not really giving up any track position. They're going to get back out then. The Red Bull and the Renault. Matt Tibos has still got pressure, because don't forget Jorg. He is at the moment jumping AJU and Sway on penalties as it stands. And so he can gain advantage. Of course, AJU with 8 seconds of penalties to his name. And so he is going to be slipping right down the field as it stands, even though he is up in P2 and he has the oldest stars in the field then. It's going to be a really tough order for him to move through then. I'm seeing Wesker and Scuba trading places back then. I think Scuba did move faster to give it back up. But Scuba's actually up to 7th, gaining 3 places on penalties as well. So he's actually driving a really good race. Has Scuba putting himself into the mix then. At the moment, could be on for he's gone outside run at a podium, it must be said, to Scuba. So he's dragged himself into it then. Scuba, a great recovery drive, taking advantage of everything around him. Ride's lead wiped out, but he's got that buffer of AGU now. So he still leads comfortably, I would say. He's got it all in his hands, those XL Rhyme. If he just controls this race in the flag, he's still got the race win in the palm of his hands.
He has indeed. Sway's got 3 seconds. AJ's got 8 seconds out on track. Element 3 and Cam on 6 as well. Safety car, I think, might come in this lap. Already Matt Tibos and Cam onto the back of the safety car queue. It might wait another lap. If it does, then it's a bit of a joke, to be honest. But Ryan out on track, leading the way. AJ in second, Sway in third. I wouldn't be surprised if actually the safety car lights go out, coming through turn 17, then in towards 18. And then we have a bit of a reduced safety car restart. But Ryan out on top, AJ in second, Sway in third. This should be the point, I think, where the safety car lights would go out. From about this point through 18, then in towards 19. If I'm not mistaken, it should go out here, but it will not. And it looks like we're going to go on at least for another lap underneath the safety car. Does AJ pit in for a set of soft compounded tyres in second position? I think if he does, he's just robbing himself basically a chance of P2. Swaying behind Jorg and LMN, 3rd, 4th and 5th, are right on his coattail. Now onto lap 22, still under the safety car. Ryan out on top, AJ in second, Sway in third. But this is going to be one of the most fascinating final 6 laps of this race I think I've probably ever commentated on here in Abu Dhabi. I'm sure it is going to be living up, maybe even better to expectations compared to Division 1. And am I calling bias towards Division 2 instead of the best race this season? I think so.
Well, we'll see about that then. Maybe we can put you into a full-time spot next season. Let's see how things will go. But yes, it is still Ryan, of course, leading the way then. Bit unfortunate that we've been kind of robbed a lap then, because we could have so easily got things back on the way on lap 21. And so we just, I guess, have more time to build up the tension, build up to a crescendo to end off this season. It's been a great season to watch then, so competitive. In the end, it was Scuba that came through as champion and his nearest title rival, Gary, as he obviously had to bow out then as he drives right alongside Wesker. He is eager to get things going. I'm sure all these drivers are wrenching. Of course, we've got, well, about probably 11 to 12,000 horsepower on the grid then, looking to get underway. And so we'll see now Ryan leading it out, AGU going with him. Of course, we'll get back underway now. He can control the restart then, go all the way at the front. And we saw Ryan how easily pulled out 1 second of a gap. And with the advantage of that restart, with the advantage of the tire grip on AGU behind him, he, I think, has got a major chance of pulling clear already. If he gets that gap early then, pulls clear of AGU and those behind him. As I think, are you still seeing Scuba driving alongside Wesker? What's going on further down the order?
I was trying to ride on board with Alonso when he's out the race. I thought it was Ryan. I saw him on the right-hand side. That is a rookie mistake. If you've just seen that, I'm sorry. Ryan is now the virtual Burt Marlander out on track. Let's get our acts together before the safety car restart actually begins. Ryan out on top, then AJ in second, Sway in third, and Ryan is now the safety car out on track, and he is going to try and time this. Looking at the speed actually of Ryan, he looks like he's going quicker than what AJ did underneath the safety car restart. AJ's going to be in big trouble off Sway and Yog off the start, but Ryan will lead the way, and surely he's only going to pull away out on track. I mean, he's only got 20% worn tyres right at the end. All the guys on the sort of bar Callboy, I think, are fine. 25% for Callboy on his tyres. AJ looks like he'll get to the end. I think everyone's fine in terms of the tyres. Isotopic has picked up a 3-second time limit for corner cutting. Ryan now on the exit into towards the final corner through the DRS detection line. He's still waiting. He's still waiting. It doesn't want to cause a concertina. AJ's going to try and go around the outside of him, and in fact he's through. Ryan West going to get a 5-second penalty, and that is a disaster of a safety car start as AJ drops. But Ryan has absolutely powered ahead. No matter what happened there, Ryan is ahead by 7 tenths of a second. We're back in the way. Sway in second, AJ in third, and AJ's had an absolute disaster of a start. West AJ's off! AJ's off into the wall through turn 2. I said car killer corner could come back to Horns, and it is, and I'm sure that is not going to be a safety car out on track because it's literally just came out. We can't get virtual Burt Marlander out that quickly, can we?
Well, let's certainly hope not then. We've still got so much action still ensuing down the field at the moment. Then as they all queue up then. West slipstream on each other then looking for ways through further down the order. Matt Timmons tagging Cam. He couldn't quite get through as West can now an element. Looks the outside lane at turn 8. Hangs back for the move just for the time being there. But he is sat right up ahead. The AlphaTauri gets a much better run as well. Heading out. Oh, turn 9 is sucked in underneath the rear wing and Cam as well. Cowboy further down the order. So West go now to the outside. Is he going to break later? No, he won't. I think Element's going to cover that well then. Cam on Cowboy looks around the outside. This run out route by the Mercedes. It holds it back to the Cam. Major Overseer's got Matt Timmons there for company with the Red Bull not near enough to spring a surprise. Spring a move. And to turn 14, they all barrel through the last section then with Ryan leading from Sway taking place. York on the medium is going to be under threat then. Element right there with them and dragging the entire field with him. 11 cars still in the race. It's been a race of attraction, this one then. Ryan leads the way without a penalty. He looks comfortable. One penalty is going to swing things towards York at P3. We'll see how things unfold then. On the line is XL Ryan. He still leads the way. Sweeky be honest though. It's far from him at the moment. It's Cam now attacking Cowboy. The whole field's still intact. Who knows how this race is going to unfold?
Sway looks like he's got better tyres as well at this point, and he is going to attack Ryan where it hurts most, and that'll be when the DRS is enabled next lap around. Cam is on the back of Cowboy, running through turn 3, then in towards turn 4. I don't think he's going to go for the move, but Cowboy and Cam have been very aggressive in their battles so far. Cam especially so, rather than Cowboy. But Cam now in 8th position on the back of Cowboy. Is he going to try and get the move done? Cowboy, by the way, is up with quite a few positions out on track. Now Cam looks to the inside line. He's running side by side with them down the straight. They're pretty much wheels apart as they run down the straight. It's Sway closing on Ryan as well, just in the foreground of shot running down and towards turn 8. He's not close enough to the back. Cam dives it down the inside as Cowboy seeing what's coming. Yes, he gets caught on the curb and Cowboy hangs on for P7 for now. Cam tried it, but now Sway is going to try it for the race lead. Sway right on the back of Ryan. I think he's going to hold back. He's going to wait at least another lap to try and get the move done. Ryan then leads the way, but Sway, that's the first warning shot out on track. I said it in Division 1 on Tuesday, and I'm saying it now. That's the first warning shot. Sway's got plenty more where that came from.
And the DRS to be activated, so he's got ammunition to throw at the race leader at the moment then. Of course, Ryan still there, penalty can hold on at the front of the race. But the moment is Cam again, diving at Cowboy. What a fierce and frantic battle those two have had all the way through the Grand Prix. And it's far from over the Cam gaining in a turn 20, but there's no way through just there. And to a high-speed corner, but he's looking to the right-hand side. And a turn 21 DRS, and they will never really haunts up at the front of the field. Cowboy will hold on from Cam for the moment, but still Laredo is doing everything at him and something as he looks for that 7th place. Heading now down the hill. He's got a great run for Cowboy in to get towards the scheme with the overtake now being activated in the Mercedes on the cover to the inside line, and he'll hold back for the move in a turn 5 for the time being. But now we have DRS, and it's going to be Sway in the hot seat for a brilliant run through the hairpin from XL Ryan. Punches clear, 6/10s clear now. DRS active, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Ryan's got more battery to use as well as he looks to try and hold on in the front, and then Cam again attacking Cowboy then. They draw side by outside down the straight, but Cam has his nose in front. He need a turn then on the inside line. We'll easily see it through. Corbo will fight back though. This battle is far from over. More to see out of the front of the field is Corbo. Major room to see then. That's going to make things simple. It's now Sway. He goes to the inside line and a turn 11 in. They almost touch Ryan around the outside. Just gets a stop. Just gets a turn and right over to the race lead. That was more than a warning shot. That was a full blown attacking maneuver, but it didn't come through. Ryan saves it off. He leads the way, but look at where York is. Look at where the entire field is as it stands. These guys all bunched up then. The top 6 right together. They were a trade to finish off the season in. Another trade fell down the order. Ryan leads Sway, but Sway doing everything better, and York to pick up the pieces. The Alfa Romeo is not out of this race just yet.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, and it could go one of many ways, I think, out on track. Ryan leads the way, Sway in second. Let's have a look at the penalties as we go on to the third last lap. 3 seconds for Sway, 8 seconds for Element and Wesker, 6 seconds for Cam, 3 seconds for Callboy. That battle is now over and done with, thank God. Ice is up and gone 3 seconds as well. But Ryan is in the hot seat at this stage as I go 1, 2, 4 in terms of the stops. There we are, Ryan leading the way from Sway in second, Jorg in third. I think Jorg, honestly, is in the hot seat at this point. He's on a set of medium compound tyres. Ryan out on track. In terms of his warnings, Ryan has had absolutely nothing in terms of warnings or penalties, which is absolutely unbelievable. 2 warnings for Sway, plus a penalty, and 2 warnings for York. He's got to be very careful as now Sway is going to attack the back of Ryan, running down in towards turn 8. He's going to try, I think, though, better in towards turn 11. York right on the back there. LMN locking up as well, with Wesker right on the back, but Ryan leading the way. He's got 4/10 of a gap. Is that enough to try and fend off the flying Mercedes in behind? Look at the ERS, though, of Sway. 5% for Sway's ERS. Sway is now really pressurising. Speaking of pressurising, Matt Tibos is through, ran the outside of Callboy, running in towards turn 11 from the outside camera angle into the middle of sector 2 as Matt Tibos picks up a penalty. He is through despite that, and he's through and he's into 8th position out on track, but Ryan leading the way. Cam, all of a sudden, how's he joined the battle for the lead? I do not believe it. He is right on the back of Scuba. He's going to put him under a lot of pressure. 2 more laps to go. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and we're about to see it over the next 2 laps.
He's looking to the end, turns away, forced over the white line by Skipper, who was not having that move. And then Tealcam backs off then. 6 seconds now. Oh, to his lead with penalties up at the front of the field. Ryan low in ERS, Sway low in ERS. You know who isn't? York at P3 then. Chasing down the front 2 lead for any which way through 2 laps to go in Abu Dhabi. And it all comes down to this. Cam hunting down the champion then. And Scuba now on the defensive then. Cam hunting him down towards the chicane. Dives into the inside lane of the Red Bull. Scuba leads into space. They make wheel-to-wheel contact. Now to the outside lane, turns him in again, squeezed towards the white line, but he's round the outside then, through the exit. He gets squeezed onto the curb by Scuba, but he's going to go on the attack again. It's Cam, but Scuba, I think, with slightly more battery, he's going to hold up, and now Sway attacking now to the inside of XL. Ryan slows down the angles, but Ryan holds on, and they make contact. Watch Jorgen behind now as well, through turn 9 in. They almost come together. Here comes Jorgen on the back of Ryan. Sway to the front level with that penalty. York, this could be his only opportunity here. Fighting for the race victory. To the outside, it's Jordan. Gets squeezed by Ryan. Ryan dives into the inside. Oh, Sway forces the Mercedes out wide. Still side by side through 12. Side by side through 13. Absolutely locked together. And 14. Ryan throws it down on the inside line. Forces Sway off the track. And now York charging round the outside as well. Towards turn 17. Nothing in it now as they head the brakes still level. York around the outside. Sway on the inside line. Holds on in at turn 18. Now round the outside, he's gonna get it. Sway holds on and at turn 18 now. York still throwing everything at him, but has that just given Ryan a race. Wesker now with him in P5. Scuba, Cam, they're all white when they do. Cam nearly into the back of the Red Bull. 1 lap to go in Abu Dhabi. It's an astonishing season finale. Ryan looks clear at the front now, but it's okay. He up behind now. Element on the back of York. How's this last lap going on for? Right up front now for P2. All hell is breaking loose.
What I can confirm is Ryan will probably win this now because of all the battle that's going on behind him. He's got a second over Sway. Jorgen behind though. Cam going around the outside on Scuba. Very hard to pronounce. Matt Tibos down the inside line. He's going to get it down the inside in towards turn 6. It's rough and tumble. It is really, really hard racing out on track here in Abu Dhabi. But would you want it for the final race of the season any better than this? I don't think you would. Right leads the way. Sway in second. Sway's going to have one more chance, possibly getting towards turn 11. Cam is going to look to the outside line. He's not coming from that far back to try and get the move done on the outside line. He contacted back Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos nearly spent spinning. He gets a 3-second time, but Puny Boy now all of a sudden getting onto the back of this as well. Ryan will lead in towards turn 11. Everyone now filtering in position. Cam and Matt Tibos are still the only battle really out on track. Matt Tibos now on the inside line. Cam tries to sail it all the way around the outside. This will be bold and brave from Cam. This will be brilliant from Cam if he can pull it off. It's like shades of lap 1, and he's through. What a move! He went around the outside of turn 18 on lap 1, but he's now around the outside of turn 14. Cam through and he's into 7. Goodness knows what this is going to do. But Ryan now coming through the final couple of corners through turn 19 for the final time. He looks like he's going to win out on track. Jorg is going to finish second. I think Scuba's going to finish third as well. Ryan now around the final corner. He comes across the line and Ryan wins an epic in Abu Dhabi. Jorg across the line in second. Scuba in the end. He's glitched, I think, in terms of the timing boards. Actually, he should get third, I think. Scuba in third. He had no penalties, I don't think. But Ryan out on top has won an absolute epic in Abu Dhabi. Driver of the day. Wouldn't you want it the same? Ryan gets driver of the day as well.
Absolutely astonishing. That was a stunning race and a bit of a race of attrition, but it was fully worth it then. Staggering stuff. Loved that all the way through and through. And Ryan, well, even though the safety car played into his hands, nevertheless, he drove it home in spectacular fashion and holding off the efforts of York, who really put it to, and then Sway as well. Those guys all drove fantastic races, but in the end they couldn't topple the Williams man, who stands atop the podium for the final time here in TTML Division 2. That is your final order in. It's Ryan from York. Sway is given the podium. I'm not sure how things are going to unfold then. He's from Matsubos, Hipuli Boy, Core Boy, Isotopic Element, Wesker, Cam, and Scuba, who I believe should get P3 rounded out the finishers. That was one of the most chaotic races I remember commentating on. Absolutely staggering stuff. And then in the end, Ryan stands atop the podium. Who knows what could have been if he hasn't, if he competed through the whole season. But he does win for the final time then. Stunning race. I can't wait to see more from this division. This has been a great season to watch.
Yes, second victory as well for Ryan according to Task. Third podium, second podium for Jorg, second podium for Sway as well. I'm sure that is incorrect in terms of Sway's case because I think Scuba, the timings have glitched sadly, so Scuba I think will get third. But Ryan takes an epic from Jorg in second. Scuba we think has finished in third as a result of the timing glitches. I'm sure that'll get investigated by our stewards. But Division 2, it's been an absolute privilege to cover some of these races this season. Mike went AWOL for most of them. His internet died, your internet died, Dan, but I wouldn't want it any other way. In Division 2, I've got to say, brilliant driving standards throughout the season. It's been an absolute epic season, not only to watch, but to commentate on the races I have. And every single driver should be very, very proud of themselves. Division 2, possibly the tightest division of TTML I think we've ever seen.
Yes, it's certainly delivered all the way through. I think I'm not sure for the final time we'll try and get our supposed top 3, and I don't think that Scuba's usually up for podium interviews, so I guess we'll just get our top 2 finishes in. Ryan and Jorg, and it'll be fun to hear from those guys because they had an epic fight to the end then, so we'll get those guys in then to hear from them, I'm sure. But yeah, stunning stuff. I absolutely love that one. Can't wait to see more from this division. Season 3 has been an instant classic.
Oh my goodness me. What an absolute race out on track. Wesker saying he got a penalty during the safety car for nothing. I'm sure that'll get investigated. I think he ran into the back of, I think it was Cam, possibly, or Matt Tibos, one of the two, where he got a 5-second penalty. That is it then for Abu Dhabi. That is it then for Division 2. And Division 3 has obviously ended tonight as well. Aiden Carter and Conti took you through the action for that. Ryan's restart looks like it's going to get investigated as well underneath that safety car. It wasn't really the best safety car restart, but we can speak, luckily, to the man himself who was just joined. Our race winner, XL Ryan, out on track. Your second victory of the season. You're making a habit of getting into these commentary boxes, honestly, but a fantastic result from you. Talk us through what happened out on track.
Well, I thought, to be fair, my quality pace was quite good around here, but obviously I invalidated my second lap, and I was looking at where I was in the standings. I was at P10, I think I was. I went out on track to do my final lap, and I saw myself drop down into obviously out of the top 10. And obviously I was watching D1 Tuesday, and I saw that some people did the medium soft. So I thought, you know what, it's the last race of the season. I've got nothing to go for, so I might as well just try the alt strat and see what happens. And it worked.
Yeah, you qualified 13th on the grid, out on track. Always going to go on to a set of mediums, of course, being further down the field. And it was fantastic to watch your progress through the field. I knew early on that you were going to be a contender. I didn't think you would win the race entirely. But just a fantastic result from you, I think. And you've got to be really, really happy with that result. Considering you scored points for Ferrari in your last win in Mexico, taking it here for Williams must be even better.
Yeah, obviously back to my original team. I felt lonely being in that Ferrari. It just didn't feel right. So obviously I thought I'd come back home because obviously Gary decided to leave because he's a little baby. So I took the reins and did what he couldn't do really and win a few races.
Yeah, that's a shade thrown towards Gary. I hope he isn't watching what you've just said there, to be honest. But yeah, of course, Gary was departed from the league as a result of an incident in Mexico. Obviously, I think it was with Noisy on the final lap, if I'm not mistaken. But to pick up from where you left off, there's 2 wins in 3 races for you out on track. You've got really stunning form in terms of the second half of the season. And I think you finished in the top 10 as well, speaking about the standings. That must fill you with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've actually missed 5 of the races this season, and the fact that I'm not even that far off the top just shows that if I actually stayed, if I was able to make them, obviously just due to work commitments. Honestly, I think I would have probably challenged Scuba for the title because obviously Gary couldn't do it because again he bolted it. So, but hey ho, you never know.
I'll throw over to Dan to ask you any questions.
Yeah, just on the race itself, obviously you kind of controlled things from the front primarily. First of all, what were the opening few laps like? Obviously, you've made some great progress in comfortably at the front of the medium train. Then, from what point were you confident, and how much did the safety car change your perception of the race?
So obviously I got a great start. I think I went from P13 to P10, and I don't even know how I did that. I was just driving along, and I was like, oh wait, I'm in P10, and I was like, okay, that's happened. So I was like, right, I'm the first medium runner. I was like, all I need to do is stick in the train because I know the tyres are going to go off early. And if the people who do push for try and go for a one-stop, like Sway and that, if they push later on, I'll just have the tyres advantage over them at this point. So I knew when it got to about lap 8, I started making the gains, getting past everyone. And I think I was in P1. Obviously, Sway was way up in front. And I just knew I had to take it. And then the safety car literally came. It came a lap just too early. I was going to go on the end of the last lap and it caught me out and I just went straight into the pits, but it gifted me basically. And then obviously the second safety car meant that my tyres could actually last a bit longer because I knew AJ, well, he was behind me on old meds and I knew Sway was there with a pen, so I wasn't really bothered. But obviously I had my good old Sandals FC LOE Pro Clubs team cheering me on. It was quite hectic during quali, so I'm going to blame them for my terrible quali, but they all tuned in for the race by the end of it. They're all cheering me on.
I just want you to know that that league is not supposed to be mentioned after James.
Terrible.
I think it was it Silverstone in Division 1 where you got kind of told off for that. So I think let's keep that on the down low. But yes,
well, they can give me a pen. The stewards, I know they love giving me a pen, so they can just hand it in everyone if they want.
Oh goodness me!
Dear.
Jorg has just. I've just received something from Tom, our big graphics man, as well about Jorg. I'll come on to this quickly before I'll ask Ryan another question. Jorg saying he has no time to join the party. The only thing that he wanted to say, this one is for Noisy. Well, I'm sure he'll be making plenty of noise finishing in P2 out on track. But Ryan, I'll come across to you. You've mentioned physically that you're not going to be racing next season. But just in terms of your form at the end of this season in Division 2 for TTML, how are you going to take that towards the other leagues that you're in? Are you going to try and channel that to be the best driver you can be?
I think, obviously, you watched me last season, I think, when I picked up a good run of forms in TTML, and it did actually transfer into my other league. So I'm hoping that I can take this confidence into other leagues and just get better as a driver. I'm annoyed that, obviously, I won't be racing next season, but I've had a great time racing here, and obviously going out on a win, whether the stewards try and take it away from me or not, who knows. But hey, I'm happy. I got on a high, and I'll see you lot around, won't I? So it'll be all fine.
It will be fine. Yeah, I'm sure the stewards will investigate everything that's got to do with that pit start, that restart, whether it was legal or not. I know people are complaining. I thought it was a bit illegal, to be honest, but there we are. But that is the end then. Ryan, go and enjoy your evening.
No, I will. You too.
Oh, and that is it for the final time this season here in TTML Division 2. What a race to end off the season. Yes, it was a bit rough and tumble. Yes, it was a bit really aggressive, I think, from a few of the drivers out on track. It's the final race of the season. What else would you expect in terms of the racing out on track? Dan, I'll come across to you. I believe Matt Tibos as well has picked up P2 in the standings, if I'm not mistaken. With that result, even though that Yo got second, I don't think it was enough to overturn. I'm sure Tom is probably doing frantic maths in the background to try and confirm that. I mean, I'll have a look at the task system, can't I? Just realised I'll have a look at the task system and confirm that. Matt Tibos finished in 4th, according to this. He would finish in 5th. So I think I'm very safe in saying that Matt Tibos has held on just about, I think. Hang on, no. 20, 25, 15. Yeah, he would hang on by 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah, just about.
Just about. We got there in the end.
So that does round off what was a Red Bull 1-2 for the season. Fantastic from those guys. It was really that midpoint of the season where they were dominating that ultimately swung things in their favour, and ultimately it just wouldn't get overturned. But for my final thoughts then, I've really enjoyed this season, there's no doubt about that, and looking forward to more in the future. But as for the driver of the day, for today, I think I have to go with Ryan. I know that there may be a little bit of a controversy, not least with his interview. I think there may be some words after that, but as for the race, he drove brilliantly. Even without the safety car, he would have got a fantastic result. Just his first stint really put him in the game, and ultimately hang on and saw it through. But as for driver of the season, I think it has to go to the champion, as always. I think Scuba has just not necessarily been quicker, he's just been more consistent than everyone around him, and that has ultimately been what's saw him through and win the championship by, in the end, a very comfortable margin. I think he's won it by a good amount. Let's just say that. I think that his points are going to be quite inaccurate because of his internet issues at the end of the race. But he's won by a good distance. Let's just say that. But I've thoroughly enjoyed covering season 3. Unfortunately, my internet stopped me from covering a couple of races, but it's been great fun to share the commentary box alongside you, James, and of course Mike in other races. It's been fantastic stuff through and through. I have to say that Division 2 has delivered in TTML. Can't wait to see more, I'm sure, because Season 4 is right around the corner.
Yeah, Season 4 right around the corner. Mark this in your calendar. 15th of April is when we're next going to be live for TTML action in Division 2. I will probably not be here for the first round. I might not be here throughout the whole season, but it's been an absolute privilege to fill in on the races that I have done. Mike obviously not making it. He said he was running a little bit late. I saw a message from him earlier on. But Dan, a brilliant commentary duo, I think, we make as well. And to Tom in the background, doing all of these wonderful graphics. The innovations keep on growing here in TTML. We cannot wait to bring you Season 4. If you want to tune in for more immediate action, I'm back live tomorrow night alongside Mr. Luke Etheridge for Division 4. Ooh. That is going to be fascinating to commentate on Division 4. I really hope he is prepared for the action in Division 4. I mean it literally. Division 5, of course, James Boyle and NSL Pariah are taking you through the action. And then we do it all over again in 2 weeks' time for the final time this season here in TTML Division 2. I've been James Head.
I'm Daniel Hogarth.
Please take care of yourselves in this crazy world that we all live in. And until 2 weeks' time in Division 2, goodbye.
Child, don't forget who you are. Don't lose your head or your heart. I bet my life on your stars. You'll be dancing, dancing on the moon.
Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. And I end up alone, I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Ain't got no place to call my own. Feels like I'm better off alone. So sad inside and hopeless. These Hollywood hoes never notice. Can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. Can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. And I end up alone, I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect. Yeah, I'm on my way home. I'm no good for you, so I drive around Manhattan. They're all laughing, oh, I'm tragic. Yeah, I'm driving in my car and seeing open, but I can't go down that road again. I'll smoke a cigarette, but will that help me forget you? Will that help me forget you? I just need to forget you. Oh, you. I need to treat you better.